Welcome back. I am your host. I'm Attorney Stephen Leahy. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The Answer.
I'm here with the group, expanded group, because we have Deborah Schreiner and we got Jim Leahy and we got Greg Manchik here today. And he's going to, and I'm going to introduce him in just a minute, but we're going to get into our next segment.
It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog. Did you say Greg or Craig?
Craig.
Greg?
Craig. With
What
a
is
C.
it? Are you saying with that with a Q?
Craig?
No, I'm just playing with you.
Okay. This is so appropriate because it's the Perry Mason music, which I really like.
Love it, baby.
And so we're going to talk about law stuff, which is my favorite thing to talk about outside of politics and sports. And law's top of the line. But before we go on, Craig, and I introduce you because I want to tell our audience about you, where you're from, and all that. But before we do that, tell me what kind of case would be perfect for you? What kind of people do you help? Tell me that.
I'll give you an example of a typical nursing home negligence case. You'll have a relative who's unable to care for themselves or is recovering from a surgical procedure, and they'll be dependent on the nurses and the physician, who only has to come once every 30 days if they're a resident in a nursing home. You're dependent on the nurse and the CNA to take care of you. If they don't turn and reposition your relative within 2 hours, they're going to start to get bed sores. Bed sores become septic and people die. Mm-hmm. Also, dehydration. They put the cup just out of reach of the patient every time, so they become dehydrated and they die. Also, people are malnourished and have to go on a feeding tube often. If these kind of things happen, fall downs in a nursing home, broken hip. If someone's very large, they have things called a Hoyer lift that they use to put people and move people. If somebody falls when they're doing that, that's all negligence. And there's a special statute in the state of Illinois called the Illinois Nursing Home Care Act. And the reason it's so important is because it awards extraordinary remedies that you can't get from any other type of personal injury, wrongful death, or catastrophic injury case. You are allowed not only attorney's fees, you are allowed actual costs, not the Gallowich progeny where you get your filing fees and, a couple of dollars for a subpoena and a couple of dollars for this or that. I'm talking about actual costs. So there's pressure on nursing homes to do a good job. And the reason Illinois passed that statute was to make the nursing homes do a good job.
To put the pressure on them to make sure that they're caring for people.
Absolutely.
So if they don't care for people, there's big penalties for that.
I could tell you so many cases from adults who've been dropped and had hip fractures to little children who have cerebral palsy, where they let become septic because he had a fever, and they sent him to school, and he had a G-tube. That's where he was feeding from, and it was leaking. And the school called the nursing home and said, he's drenched in bile. And they took him home, and they brought him back the next day to school, feverish, with the same leaking bile from his feeding tube. Finally, he gets back to the nursing home. The next shift, somebody calls an ambulance, not 911, however, and by the time he gets to the hospital, it's too late to do the surgery that was required, and this young man died.
Graphic stuff.
Man, that's a terrible. Now, people go visit their loved ones, right? And they should be keeping an eye on them. But let me before.
That's one of the most important things, Steve. You got to have an advocate. If you don't,
I agree with that.
You're going to have a problem.
And that's what lawyers are. And I think so many people forget that. But before we do that, now, if somebody's having this kind of problem, where would they reach you?
You can reach me at 312-460-8888. It's the law offices of Craig L. Manchik and Associates PC. I have an absolutely outstanding attorney working with me, a super lawyer many years, voted by her peers, named Lynn Plum Duffy. She is one of the smartest medical malpractice and catastrophic personal injury and nursing home negligence attorneys that I've ever met. And she's been with me almost 11 years. We have a very, very tight-knit staff that's been with us many years. What we can do, we're at 900 West Jackson Boulevard, by the way. Mm-hmm. We're on the first and second floors of 900 West Jackson, which is
Beautiful
where
office,
we've
by the
been
way.
since.
I've stopped by your office. Beautiful office. I've stopped by and saw you and visited a little bit.
We've been there since 2003, so we really like it.
And you've seen that neighborhood change a lot. Then
That neighborhood has grown so much.
Unbelievable.
When I first moved in, we had barbed wire on the parking lot and the gate. Now there's no gate. They took all the barbed wire down.
Yeah, it's a whole different
and
place,
it's all yuppies living in these little tiny condos with like a 3-foot balcony. I mean, there's tons. Even my brother bought one of those.
Is that right?
Suckers.
It's a great neighborhood over there. It really
The
is.
condos are worth about half of what they sold for.
My favorite. Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Very good.
No, I'm kidding. They're maybe 3/4.
Okay. Oh, that's much better. Okay, but I want you to make sure that we get your telephone number out a lot in this show.
312-460-8888 for the law offices of Craig L. Manchik and Associates PC. We are your catastrophic injury and wrongful death attorneys. We do medical malpractice, nursing home negligence, auto accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents, work injuries, construction negligence. You name it, we do it. You got a worker comp case? Give me a call. I'll help you.
That's right.
I will get you the money you deserve. And if I don't, you won't have to pay me a dime. All our staff will focus on getting you all the money we can. And we don't settle cases short. We take them to trial.
That's a huge part of it. I think, isn't that a huge?
That's why we get more money than anybody. Because we go to trial.
How many attorneys that are in this that they almost never go to trial? Isn't that right?
I would say 90% of the plaintiff attorneys are chicken.
Okay, keep going.
And they take short money because the insurance companies have become very stingy these days. So what we do is we figure out the fair value by studying prior cases with the same type of injuries from our state and other states, and we demand to get more than those cases.
Getting fired up. I love it.
And if you don't get more, we take it to trial. We recently took a case to trial. We got $1,150,000 on a no-offer case. Case before that was another no-offer case, ISME case. Got $624,000 on a no-offer case.
What kind of case was that? Now?
That was a medical malpractice, the $624,000, and so was the $1,150,000. Both medical malpractice cases.
Okay, so
Dr. Oz, beware.
That's right. You have to be, and I love the passion because that's what this show's all about. You have to be passionate about helping the people that look to you for help.
The people are my family. These clients are my family. You come to me, it's a 5-year period, and that's not my fault. That's the Cook County system. Mm-hmm. It takes 5 years to get to trial.
Boo! Hiss!
Yes,
it's not good, I'm telling you. And my poor clients have to wait all this time. And if you have a workers' comp case and you're off all that time, it could take 3-4 years to settle your case.
I see it all
but
the
you'll
time.
Get the money you deserve if you use our firm. 312-460-8888. Ask for Craig Manchik.
One of the things they do is they try to starve people out, right? Because they know it's going to take some time. They know that you can't work for instance, in a workers' comp case, I'm having a problem. They stop your TTD payments, temporary total disability payments,
right.
And then you're stuck. What are you going to do?
File a 19B for an immediate trial. Approach the arbitrator. Arbitrator will demand that they pay that TTD. We go after these insurance companies. I'm not going to get pushed around by anybody. I'm not a chicken.
It's all getting technical. How can we call you?
312-460-8888 for the law offices of Craig L. Manchik and Associates, PC.
I love it.
So I didn't get a chance. The next segment we're gonna learn about Craig, where he's from. I know he's a local guy, and that's, to me, as people know, that's important to me.
It is important on the show.
Local people. We want to help our local listeners, the people that are listening. They want help here now. They want to be able to look at somebody in the eye and get to know them before they're trusting them in these kind of cases. It's so important. As you mentioned, 5 years. You have a 5-year relationship with someone before anything even happens.
That's why my clients become like family, because we're working together for like 5 years.
Okay.
Well, that's right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, remember, Craig, can you give that number one more time, sir?
Yeah, 312-460-8888 for the law offices of Craig L. Manchik and Associates, PC. We are your premier medical malpractice, nursing home negligence, and personal injury and catastrophic injury and wrongful death law firm.
Listen to that, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Craig L. Manchik and Associates. Give them a visit. Also, remember, Open Tax Resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. That's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Listen to those sponsors, because when we come back, we're going to have more IRS Radio Hour coming at you. And we have our guest, Craig L. Manchik, with the Craig L. Manchik and Associates. So stay tuned here on AM 560, The Answer.